Providing feedback in an online learning environment is a bit different than providing feedback in the brick and mortar setting. Because feedback is one of our main ways of communicating with our students, it's important that we make all of our feedback count. For each assignment, it's important that our feedback be positive, that it be specific, and that it be constructive. It's important that the feedback we provide be applicable not only to the assignment at hand, but also to future assignments as well. And for students who are mastering content, we have to really avoid just saying great job and allowing them to move on to the next assignment. Instead, we can use this as an opportunity to push them even further. I like to do this by offering students food for thought. I might ask some provoking questions to make them dig a bit deeper, or I might suggest that they try something different outside of their comfort zone if they're doing a writing assignment. But it's important that we make sure that these are constructive feedback. There's constructive feedback for them as well. Providing authentic feedback for my students has definitely changed the way that I interact with them. Before I really learned how to do this, it felt a little bit disconnected. I can only imagine that students might forget that there's a teacher on the other end of the computer screen who's really looking and grading their work. But this feedback shows them that I really take the time to read everything that they've written, and I want to make sure that I give them opportunities to improve upon what they've done. Providing my students with authentic feedback has also changed the way that I approach teaching in the online learning environment. I'm much more intentional now than I had been in the past, in that I really have to make connections to the course objectives, and I have to look at rubrics, and I have to really reflect on student work and consider how it meets these content objectives. So it's really made me more aware of not only my curriculum, but also my students' progress in regard to course progress. I've definitely seen an overall improvement in regard to the quality of work that my students submit. At first, I think there might have been a little bit of a disconnect, and students think, I'm turning in my assignment, it's going to get 100% because I turned it in, and I'm going to move on to the next assignment. Now they see that not only do they turn in their work, but I'm going to read their work carefully, I'm going to compare it to the assignment requirements, and I'm going to give them specific feedback that can help them really fine-tune what they submitted. So I see that a lot of students pay more attention, closer attention to those requirements from the start. The benefit in this is that their first assignment, their first submission is already great quality, and so we can take that and really fine-tune it and push the students to the next level. Providing feedback in this way has definitely allowed me to get to know my students and their families in a more meaningful way. It definitely opens up a dialogue between myself and families and allows us to really have ongoing conversations about student work, about student progress, and course expectations. And I find that families are far more involved and aware of what their students are doing in the classes. I think that authentic feedback does work for all students. I think that it's really important for us to know our students individually so that we know what kind of feedback would work best for each student. Not all students will take constructive feedback the same way, and for some they might become quite discouraged. So it's important to know how to approach those students and how to best craft our feedback so that it's effective for them and it will push them to the next level. This year, I have received an overwhelming amount of positive feedback in response to my feedback style. I find that my students and their parents are really happy with the amount of detailed, specific comments and feedback they receive on their assignments. I find that this is particularly true in my English courses, where students enjoy the targeted, specific feedback on their writing assignments. They want to know how they're writing, and they want to know how they can improve their writing. And by giving them detailed, specific feedback, it's allowing them to take their work to the next level. The next steps in the evolution of authentic feedback are twofold. The first would be that we need to find new and creative ways to provide feedback for our students. Yes, we can provide comments on Word documents and PDF documents, and we can even send voice recordings. In the virtual environment, I know that there has to be other ways that we can provide feedback in fun and creative ways. The second part would be to make sure that our students understand not only the purpose of this feedback, but know how to best use the feedback to take their work to the next level.